This section contains information on rational equations and simple methods of finding the solution. What are rational equations? Rational equations are equations with fractions in them. Here's an example. 1/2 plus 1 over x equals 4. Notice that this is an equation. We have an equal sign with quantities on both sides. When you have an equation, clear the fraction by multiplying both sides of the equation by the LCD. For this equation, the LCD is 2x. Therefore, we multiply each term on both sides by 2x. We have 2x times 1/2, 2x times 1 over x equals 2x times 4. In the first term, 2x times 1/2, the 2's cancel and you're left with x. In the second term, 2x plus 1 over x, the x's cancel and you're left with 2. On the right side of the equation, we have 8x after we do the multiplication. Notice that what we have done is we have gone from having an equation with variables in the denominator to having an equation in which all the variables are in the numerator. Now we want to get our x terms together on one side of the equation. The easiest way to do this is to subtract x from both sides. When we do that, we obtain 2 equals 7x. We want to get x by itself. It's not by itself because it's multiplied by 7. We do the opposite of multiplying by 7, which is dividing by 7 on both sides of the equation. Our final answer is 2/7 equals x. Here's the technique for solving rational equations. Whenever you see an equation with variables in the denominator, always multiply the equation by the LCD to cancel the denominators. After multiplying the LCD and canceling, you will be working with whole numbers and not fractions. This is much easier. Let me give you a warning. Do not confuse rational expressions with rational equations. 1 over x plus 1 over 4 is a rational expression. Notice that it does not have an equal sign with numbers on both sides. To add these terms, you must find a common denominator and equivalent fractions. On the other hand, 1 over x plus 1 over 4 equals 1/2 is a rational equation. You can multiply through by the LCD when you have a rational equation. You cannot multiply through by the LCD when you have a rational expression. Here's example 2. Solve for x. 1 over x plus 1 over 5x equals 3. Multiply by the LCD, which is 5x. Doing this, we have 5x times 1 over x plus 5x times 1 over 5x equals 5x times 3. In the expression on the left, 5x plus 1 over x, the x's cancel and we're left with 5. 5x times 1 over 5x leaves 1 because the 5x in the numerator cancels with the 5x in the denominator. On the right side of the equal sign, we have 15x. 5 plus 1 equals 6. We have 6 equals 15x. To isolate the x, divide both sides of the equation by 15. 6 over 15 equals x. Always remember to reduce to lowest terms whenever possible. And 6 and 15 are both divisible by 3. Hence, 6 divided by 3 is 2. 15 divided by 3 is 5. The final answer is 2/5 x. Here are some practice problems for you to try. Pause the DVD while you work. When you have finished a problem, come back for the answer. Practice problem 1, solve for x. 2 plus 1 over x equals 3/4. The answer to practice problem 1 is -4/5. To solve this problem, we multiply every term on both sides of the equation by the least common denominator, which is 4x. This gives us 2 times 4x plus 4x times 1 over x equals 3/4 times 4x. 2 times 4x equals 8x. 4x times 1 over x equals 4. Notice that the x in the numerator and the x in the denominator cancel. This gives us 3/4 times 4x. The 4's cancel, and we're left with 3x. Thus, after multiplying through by the LCD, our equation becomes 8x plus 4 equals 3x. We have x's on both sides of the equal sign. We want to group our x terms together. The easiest way to do that is to subtract 3x from both sides. 8x minus 3x equals 5x plus 4, and then 3x minus 3x is 0. Again, we're trying to get that x by itself. It's not by itself because we've multiplied it by 5 and added 4. When you are solving an algebra equation, always work with the addition and subtraction properties of equality before you work with the multiplication and division properties of equality. Therefore, subtract 4 from both sides. The new result is 5x equals negative 4. Our last step to isolate the x is to divide both sides by 5. We have x equals negative 4/5. Practice problem 2. Solve for x. 3/5 plus 2x equals 4/9. Here's the solution to practice problem 2. The answer is negative 7/90. Remember, the original problem was 3/5 plus 2x equals 4/9. The LCD is 45. We multiply 45 by each term. 45 times 3/5 plus 45 times 2x equals 45 times 4/9. We can cancel along the way. Look at the first term, 45 times 3/5. Both the 45 and the 5 can be divided by 5. 5 divided by 5 is 1. 45 divided by 5 is 9. Therefore, we have 9 times 3, which is 27. 45 times 2x is 90x. The 9 and the 45 on the right of the equal sign can cancel. 9 divided by 9 is 1. 45 divided by 9 is 5. 5 times 4 is 20. We're trying to isolate the x. Begin by subtracting 27 from both sides. This leaves 90x equals negative 7. Divide both sides by 90, and we have x equals negative 7/90. 7 is prime and can't be reduced. Since 90 does not have a factor of 7, there's nothing we can cancel there, and x remains negative 7/90. Practice problem 3. Solve for x. 7 minus 2x equals 11. Here's the answer to practice problem 3. It's x equals negative 1/2. The LCD is x. We multiply every term in the original equation by x. This gives us 7x minus 2 equals 11x. The easiest way to combine the x's on one side of the equal sign is to subtract 7x from both sides. This leaves negative 2 equals 4x. Now divide both sides by 4. Negative 2 over 4 simplifies to negative 1/2, and that equals x. Practice problem 4. Solve for x. 3/4 minus x equals 2. The answer to practice problem 4 is x equals negative 5/4. Cancel the denominators by multiplying every term in the original expression by 4. 4 times 3/4 minus 4x equals 2 times 4. In the first expression on the left, the 4's cancel. We're left with 3. The final equation after we clear the denominator is 3 minus 4x equals 8. Now we solve for x. The easiest way is to subtract 3 from both sides. This leaves us with negative 4x equals 5. Dividing both sides by negative 4 gives x equals negative 5/4. Practice problem 5. Solve for x. 2 over x plus 3 over x equals 2/3. The answer to our last problem is 15 over 2 equals x. If we look at the original problem, the denominators are x, x, and 3. The least common denominator is 3x. Multiplying every term on both sides of the equation by 3x gives us 3x times 2 over x plus 3x times 3 over x equals 3x times 2/3. In the expression on the far left, the x's cancel. We're left with 3 times 2 equals 6. Then we look at 3x times 3 over x. The x's cancel. We're left with 9. If we look at 3x times 2/3, the 3's cancel, and we're left with 2x. Our equation to this point is 6 plus 9 equals 2x. 6 plus 9 equals 15. Dividing both sides by 2 gives us 15 over 2 equals x.